Hello, welcome, and thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you and welcome back. Today we are doing another ink review video, and if you are new, what I do is I review these inks on different types of paper so you can see how they'll perform depending on what papers that you have on hand. So today I'm going to be reviewing this lovely reddish colored ink. It's by, and I might pronounce, and probably will pronounce most of these incorrectly, Iroshizuku, and the color is Momiji. So this is a really pretty ink by Pilot. You can get these on Amazon, and I do have an Amazon link below. I will see if I can find this exact color and link it for you. But anyway, this is a lovely reddish color. I wanted a few red inks, and so I was looking around. I wanted something kind of fall themed, or maybe even Christmas themed or something. This was a while ago. And so anyways, I found this ink and I thought, well, this is pretty, let's give it a try. So we're just going to check it out. So these are always well packaged. I've never had a problem with them leaking or anything. And you get a lot of ink. These are large ink bottles compared to, you know, certain other places where they sell them in smaller bottles. And it just looks lovely. Look how pretty that is. And it has this cute little ribbon tied around it. And here's the name of the ink. And these are made in Japan, if you couldn't tell by the name. All right, so what we'll do is first we're going to check this out on some normal copy paper, and no, we're not. We're going to do the swatch first. See, I'm getting better, guys. I'm remembering. All right, so the swatch will give us a good look at how this will perform, because I'm going to lay ink down, you know, thicker on one side and all that. Anyway, you've probably seen previous swatch videos, but I'm doing it first because I want to give it time to dry, so at the end of the video you guys can see how it looks. All right, there we go. It almost looks pink in the bottle, so maybe in looking for a red I purchased a pink. Who knows? We won't know until we try. All right, so this is a really pretty. And I am very new to fountain pens and fountain pen inks as far as like actually using them and testing them out. So first of all, if you're new to fountain pens and fountain pen inks, you're in the right place, because I don't know what I'm doing either. So we can learn together. And also, when I go out and buy an ink, I will make lots of mistakes, because I'm thinking, oh, this would be really cool, or that would be really cool. And then I don't really realize what I'm buying. So for example, the colors. You know, sometimes you just have to go by whatever color is on the computer screen, and you don't get to see the inks in person before you purchase them, usually. At least for me, anyway. So this means that I will inevitably buy something thinking it's one thing and then receiving another, and that is completely fine, because I have found some beautiful inks that way. So don't be afraid to buy something that you might hate, because you might end up loving it. All right, so let's see if I can get this. This is, and it's by all right, so Momiji, I guess is how you say that. I'm probably wrong, and that's fine. All right, so I don't speak Japanese, so how would I know? All right, so this is how it looks so far. It's very wet. It looks like over here there's a little bit of like yellow or orange coming through. That's neat. It hasn't even finished drying yet, and it's already doing some cool stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside and let it rest, and then we'll do the swatches. And that's another thing too I want to point out about these inks. Sometimes when you see a swatch online, or you just see the bottle, like this looks pink in the bottle, but it looks red on the paper. Like, how does that even happen? It's pretty cool, I think, anyway. All right, so we'll leave that there. All right, so let's start with the copy paper. So here is the copy paper. I cut everything down to size so that I'm not wasting as much paper. And it makes it easier to store the swatches as well. I'm thinking of maybe getting like a little box or something to put these in, so that we can go back someday and compare them to things. All right, so that's the copy paper. And then I also, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. We will also be cleaning off this pen in between uses because I want to give it a, every swatch a fair chance at everything being accurate and everything. All right, so let's give this a try. First, we're going to do some scribbly swirls at the top. And then we're going to, whoops. I wasn't thinking I dipped the pen again. So I'll draw some more squiggles to kind of get it to where it should have been. Okay. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, there we go. So far, this is really pretty, even just on the copy paper. I'll try to do some slow lines and see if we can get any shading. I don't know if there is any, but, or if it would even show up on this paper, but yeah. All right. So far, that's looking pretty good. It does look kind of like a pinky red here, and then as it dries, it kind of takes on this orangey red color. It's kind of neat. It like changes as you're writing with it, which is really fun. So I'll set that there to dry. Oh, we gotta write copy paper. Can't forget that. I want to remember what type of paper it was so that, I don't have to guess. The papers all have a very distinct feel to them, so when I pick them up, I'll probably be able to tell, but, rather than trusting memory and making risks and whatnot, I'll just write the name. All right, the next one we're going to test is going to be this HP32 paper. Now, HP32 paper, if you've never seen this before, it's just a more higher quality printer paper or copy paper. It has a smoother feel to it, and I think what's going on is the ink takes longer to dry slightly, like it sits on top of the paper or something. So the paper doesn't immediately absorb it, and that gives it time, it gives the ink time to do its fun things before it dries. That's what I'm thinking is happening. I'm not an expert, but that's what I think is going on. Because the paper feels smoother when you write with it. And these glass pens really do. You feel every fiber in the paper when you write with them. And the HP32 is very smooth to write on. It feels slick and very nice. So this would be great for making into journals or something. Okay. And this is HP32. Okay. And we should do those slow lines as well. And if you're not familiar with using a glass pen, the ink comes down these little channels here. So depending on how you have the pen turned, it might feel like right here it feels a little bit dry and scratchy because either because of the cut of the pen or because of the ink drying up. But if you turn it, you can find a smoother surface with more ink, and then it lets you write again. So that's the HP32. Let's see how this looks. And just like before, it kind of has this pinky red, and then it's drying to this orangish red here at the top. And down here on the swatches, I don't know if it's going to stay this way, but the edges have this kind of orangey red color, and the middle is a darker red. So once that fully dries, we'll see if it retains that property. That's kind of cool. All right, and then the last paper we're going to test this on is Tomoe River paper. It feels very thin, this paper. It seems like the ink would just go right through it, but it doesn't. Just like the HP32, it kind of sits on top before it dries. All right, so clean that off, new dip into the ink. And we'll do just like before, start with some squiggles. And lay down some heavy splooches, scribbles of ink. Whoops. Trying to find a smooth edge to write with. There we go. Let's go this way. And this is Tomo River paper. And let's try some of those slow lines. I don't really enjoy writing slow because I usually want to get whatever I'm writing, you know, get it written and down on the paper. So my default is to go as quickly as possible, which is why my writing is so messy and terrible. I'm sure if I slowed down and actually worked on my writing, it would be much nicer, but you know, I'm always in a hurry. So drawing these slow lines is probably good practice for me. All right, that's enough of that. So I'm going to clean this off. Okay, there we go. Gotta get the rest of that. There's a little bit of ink still stuck in there. Don't know what that's about. Okay, that's better. All right, and I'll put this cap back on so I don't accidentally spill it. So yep, there's that really cute bottle. And this looks really nice on sitting on the desk. It's so pretty. And I really like their inks. I really have no complaints about any of their inks that I've used. They have a decent selection of colors. And anyway, so yes, this is definitely one to get, even if you get a different color, but by the same company. I have no complaints about any of the inks. All right, so some of these I've had a chance to dry. So let's take a look here. All right, so this is pretty much all dried down to that strange orangey red color, which is really pretty. It's like fall leaves. You can see here in these big squiggles how the center, it did retain that pinky red color, and the edges are what turned that kind of, I guess, a golden red is the best way to describe this. Very pretty. And so if you're going to be maybe laying a lot of ink down on the paper for some reason, even if you had copy paper, it would still show off these beautiful color variations in the ink. But for just writing, it just mostly shows that golden red color. Very pretty. Very unusual color. It's not just red, it's not just orange, it's not just whatever, it's all those things. Okay, here's the HP 32, and in this one, just like before, you can see the reddish pink color in the center, and then the outside is that golden color. That golden red. I guess golden red is orange, but it's not quite orange to my eye. That could just be me. And in the writing also, it has that orange color, but it does look, it just feels to me like there is a little bit of variation, like I don't know if it's really true shading, but if there is, it's very little, but it starts out, it stays that kind of reddish color and then changes that golden color. So I guess it really is shading. Depends on how good your eyes are, I guess. And then on these slow lines, there's a little bit of variation here, like it's red here and then it changes to that golden red color on the end. So the shading does actually come out on the HP 32. It's just subtle. And then here's the Tomo River, and this probably still needs time to dry. But all right. So this, on these big splotches here, it does seem to have retained more of that red, and the golden color is more of like a halo around the edges, and then on this one you can see it kind of right here going around, and the shading is more dramatic on this. You can actually see it really good. So like here it's orange and then it turns red there, and then on these slow lines they're definitely more red here and more golden up here. So there definitely is some shading going on with this, especially on the Tomo River paper. It's more obvious, like right here. This is a beautiful color. It reminds me of those maple trees when they turn red. Some of them, they have this same, depends on which maple tree, they're all different, I find, but this one, like this, there is one that has this kind of a golden red color. It's very, very pretty. So this might need a few more seconds to dry. I'll show everything under the light as well so that we can get a better look in case the camera's not picking it up. And then here is our swatch. And yeah, so this is really showing off some of the ink properties. You've got all these reds here, And then there's like this halo of like, I don't know, gold or something, but it's not gold like a shiny, there's no glitter in this, there's no shimmers. But the gold is more of like a sheen, like a brassy gold. Kind of like, here, I'll show you. It's like this color. And not a gold, like a bright yellowy gold. It's more of that antique-y color. Like an antique type gold. And then you can see the shading in the writing a little bit. So yeah, this is a really interesting ink. I'm really glad I have this. It's very pretty. I'm going to have to find something really nice to write in for this so I can see all the fancy shading and stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is stack all these like this and see if we can compare them under the light, see if the light shows anything different for the camera. So the copy paper is on the left there. And then in the middle we got the HP 32 and Tomo River paper on the right. So I'll set those down, and then here is the swatch that we made. When you turn it like this, it picks up that gold. And I know it might look shiny on the camera maybe, but in real life it's not shimmery shiny, it's just a sheen. It's very, very, very pretty though. I really like this. It's not as dramatic as, say, the shiny, shimmery sheens are. It's subtle, but in like an elegant way. And in like it looks more natural, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So if you wanted something more earthy, more natural, and you wanted a nice sheen and shimmer, or sorry, sheen and shading to the ink, this might be one to go with if you have the right paper to show it off. So this is a beautiful ink. I'm really surprised by this. This is not what I was expecting at all, but in a good way. So yeah, I'm going to be finding something to put this in right away because I want to try writing with it. It looks beautiful. And yeah, if you have, this is why I do these on here on video, so you guys can see as well, because you can't always tell by a picture on the internet or on like an item listing, or, you know, in the bottle, because this does not look like the bottle. It looked like pink. This is, but I would never have expected this from that ink. So anyway, this was a happy surprise, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe so that you can continue seeing these. And I do have links below for different items if you are interested in finding some of these fun inks yourself and trying them out. And please leave comments of any inks you'd like to see me swatch or review, and let me know if you have any favorite reds, because I'm still collecting red ink, because it's one of the colors where it's hard to, especially looking at pictures online, it's hard to find something that looks like what I'm looking for. So I would love to see and hear about your favorites so that perhaps I can give them a try. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. You have a great day.